Well, greetings, fish people of the internet. Fish people of the internet. Is that even a thing? Well, greeting, fish keepers of the internet. Unky Joe here, Unky Joe's Aquatics. Heh, I did it. Let's talk about what these videos are going to be like. Basically, I have no idea. I'm just going to cover the aquarium part of my hobby, as a vlog. I'm going to pick a day and I'm going to do that'll be the fish day. And whatever I'm doing that day with the fish, that's what I'll vlog about. So if you have specific requests of something you'd like to see in my fish room or a particular subject for me to cover, let me know. And I'll be happy to take your ideas and your suggestions, or if you want to see a piece of equipment, you want to see me try it out on this channel or whatever, let me know. Reach out, baby, and I'll be there. And I might take your ideas to heart and do them, or we might not. It just depends on how I feel that day. But basically, this is going to just be follow me around the fish room and let's see what happens. And that's much like the video is today. So I don't really review products on this channel. In fact, I'm going to make it a policy not to accept from vendors donations or grants of equipment. That's fine, but I'm not going to take any advertising dollars, any tit for tat on any product, because I don't want to influence my review of a product. So the reviews you're going to see me do are actual products I buy and use in my aquarium hobby. So they'll be honest. You know me, if nothing else, I'm honest, and I'll give you my honest opinion. And today that video is no different. Now today's video is about my tanks, rescaping some of them, because it wouldn't be a tank talk without me rescaping something. It's about filters. Now I'm a big fan of hang-on-back filters. 9 out of 10 times I prefer hang-on-back filters. The other 1 out of 10 times I prefer canister filters for the larger aquariums. And I just wish they were better priced. And today is about a video all about that. It's about 3 different priced canister aquarium filters and a hang-on back filter that's made like a canister, I guess you could say, and my trials and tribulations with them and my overall experience. So there'll be some unboxing, there'll be some me hooking it up, there'll be some footage of me playing with it. And then once we're all done with that, we'll come back at the end of the video and I'll give you my honest opinion on all 3 of those filters. How does that sound? Good? All right. We'll see you at the end of the video. So this is a Hyger hang-on back filter, but it's unique because it's got a canister filter design, but it hangs on the back. It comes with a protein skimmer, and I don't know how I feel about that. Typically these never work as intended. It does come with a spray bar. I like that. It's got a 1-year warranty. This is the 6-watt model. Supposedly it's good for up to a 40-gallon tank. I don't know. I've never used Hyger before. This is not a sponsored video. This is my own money. I think I picked this up for about 32 bucks. And I tell you, I love gadgets, whether it be computers or aquarium gadgets. I just love gadgets. And one of my weaknesses is filters. So there's the manual for it. We're not even going to look at. No, actually we are. So which one do I have? I have the 6-watt. So it's the HG108-6W. Yeah. And it's 100 gallons per hour. So it's not suitable for a 40-gallon. It'd only be suitable for like a 20-gallon tank and below. Yeah, 10 to 20, it says it right here. For the 20 to 40, you need the 7-watt or the 8-watt pump. But that's okay, because this mainly would go on 20-gallon tanks. I'm going to test it on a 40-gallon tank, just because I have one sitting here next to the workbench that I can carefully and easily hook this on to. So I probably will not end. I never, hardly ever, if ever return filters because that's neatly. Oh, that's nice. Got some nice weight to it. Now this thing comes. You saw how easy it was to get out of the box. Typically, I don't return filters because, you know, why? You can never have too many filters. So what's in this little bag is a. Oh, this is the little protein skimmer. Yeah. I wish you could exclude this because half the time they end up not working. This is the box of accessories. In fact, let me move that box out of the way. Kind of throw this stuff out here. So I got nozzles. Yeah, they're labeled in and out. That's good. It's good that they're labeled. I don't know if you can see them on the top, but that's labeled in and out. Got some nice weight to it. Please fill the bucket with water before plugging in. Well, how about the filter? Don't I want to put water in the filter? And then it's got these two little, you know, hooky things here that you slide in and you hook it on the back. And all of this is for the flow. So I guess we'll just set that over there for now. And let's get the filter open. Just those two little clips. And it should just pop right off. So in order to get to the impeller, you have to take off a couple of screws to get to this. And inside is a, well, I don't know how this is supposed to go. There's that. There's that. Okay, so the input it shows is on the right. So there we go. Kind of. All right, now this thing goes up on there. All right. Now these. This go to the side. Now this is supposed to go like this. So that's fine. I suppose I could have it go all the way out. How, you know, so for the output, of truth, we're going to plug this bad boy in, see what happens. It's a nice, it's a well-built little filter. It doesn't feel cheap. A lot of these damn filters you get they feel like they're gonna break within a week. Not this one. All right, let's plug it in and see if it primes. Okay, looks like it's doing its thing. Got a lot of air in it. And it should work the air out all on its own now. Become quiet. Hasn't got a whole bunch of flow. Just nice and gentle. So I'd say, yeah, this would do well for a 20-gallon aquarium. Don't know how well for a 40, but you can see there how well it's moving water. All right, there you go. So just put that underneath and give it a little spinner is spinning. It's quiet. It's orange, but it's quiet. So I decided to put that canister filter on this 40-gallon tank. But the other thing I've decided to do, you see where the water level is? I am really, really getting tired of filling these tanks up all the time. And it can't be good for the aquarium over the long run because it builds up total dissolved solids. The more water you have to add to it, if you don't do water changes, the more your TDS creeps up. I mean, it's not a big deal. I'm not going to get paranoid about it, but I've got these, I paid probably 50 or 60 bucks for these pieces of glass to go over the top of the aquarium, and I just don't use them. And let me show you my 55-gallon tank. So my 55-gallon tank, I've had it covered the same amount of time I've had that other aquarium covered, and look where the water level is. And that's even with 3 bubblers in there and a canister filter running. It just holds the water so much better. And I was worried about it, killing the floating plants, but it's not. The duckweed is doing fine. Still pulling the toxins out of the water, yet it's not killing it. So one thing I do have is I have a crack here, and this plastic goes all the way back, but it's not quite broken yet. This tank is going to need repairs or a brace on it, but it's starting to pull water in here and then drip down the crack. So repairs are coming to this tank sooner rather than later. But so I'm going to try a little experiment because I have a canister filter on here now. So I'm going to try to move these connections around to the back. That way I can still get a cover on, and then I'm going to go ahead and cover this tank when I do my maintenance today and get it to where it's it's not evaporating so much water. I'm going to do the same thing with this tank, and I'm gonna eliminate this hang-on back filter for this unit. I've got another place to put this, another tank to put this in. I think it'd be more fitting than this tank. And yeah, I mean, they're doing well, but I'm just I'm experimenting with different methods of filtration and see which one I like for these bigger tanks. And so far, this little filter down here, it's doing okay. It's not as nice as the Sun I bought, but it'll do in a pinch. So let me get this all disconnected, these hoses rearranged in here to make sure this is all going to work the way I hope it will. And, well, I got it installed. There it is. It's on the back. There's the inlet and the return, and I even put the lid back on. And you can see it's moving water. The problem is this is the Enjoy filter, whatever that is. And you can see how tall it is compared to my rack. Well, I've got one of these I need to put on the other 40 gallon because I'm going to be trying it out. This, again, none of this stuff is sponsored. This is just me buying it. This was going to go on the other 40, but the problem is it's too damn tall. Yeah, it tells you right up here how tall it is. And 16.5 inches, or 42 centimeters, is that? Yeah, 42 centimeters is too tall. It will not fit underneath on the bottom rack. But the other one will. So what I'm going to do is move the other one over here and try to get the lines down behind it. And then, yeah, try to plug it all in. And hopefully it'll work. It's going to take some doing, but, you know, who better for the job than me? So anyway, let's quit talking and get started. Alright, so of course I'm never quite satisfied with my setup, and I've decided to reset a couple of tanks, and actually I kind of want to reset this one down here as well, but as you can see, it's doing pretty darn well. The problem I have with these tanks is algae, because I overfeed and I overlight the tanks. It's that simple, I'm thinking. So this tank's been set up for about a year, and it's a huge mess right now, so pardon the filth, but I'm cleaning it. You can see it's full of little baby, or it's full of, you know, teenage guppies, and some males and some little babies are in there, though they're probably not doing too well in all this flow. And this is, you know, this is how I reset a tank. I just I stir up the pull all the plants out. I stir up all the rock down below, and then I put in a big old chunky filter and let it all pick up the heavy debris, and then take a little bit of it out at a time. And you can see the fish they're feeding down there on the debris, and they got fed this morning. I turned the filter off when I feed them, but this is part of my reset process I go through. It's just something I do. The problem is that In-tank sponge filters are fantastic. They work great. They're ideal for most situations. I don't like them. They're filthy, they're large, they take up space. They can be used for other things. They're ugly. Don't like them. I prefer hang-on back filters. And the problem is I've moved away from that because, power, whatnot. They don't consume a whole lot of power if you buy the right size filter. So this is not going to be a rant on why I think you should use a hang-on back filter, but suffice it to say I'm going to be switching all these tanks to either an under gravel setup, which some of them have, with a hang-on back filter, or they're going to be a hang-on back filter. So this one's going to be a hang-on back filter, and then I got this one here as well, which I reset just a few months ago, and it just got overtaken by algae as well. Maybe it's the position of these windows next to this window. But this tank again is going to have to be reset, and you can see it's full of life. This was going to be my guppy breeding tank, and really they didn't breed a whole lot. They didn't make a whole lot of babies, or a whole lot of babies didn't survive. And so again, I've got a heavy duty filter in there, pulling all the big debris out of the water as I stir up the sand, and you can see the snails are kind of going crazy. So I've overfed this tank. I overfed it because I thought I was going to have growing babies in there, but it just didn't turn out that way. And then you saw me playing with the canister filters. So this is the cheapy creepy aqua something or another. Name escapes me at this time. But here's the inlet to go down to the filter, and here's the spray bar to return. So it's not a bad little filter. It's that one right there. No leaks, but it has a problem. Sometimes it gets air in it, and it's been running now for about a week, and it still sometimes gets a little problem with the air. And I don't know, I don't think I have anything leaking. I've looked, but it is doing a good job with the tank. I won't buy another one of these. Not the tank, but the filter. Just not real impressed with the filter. Just the overall design of it is kind of clunky. And that air problem I continue to have. Now, the other filter that I bought, oh my God, what is that behemoth? This other filter that I bought, here's my little corridors. I thought they were dead. They're not. They're getting fat too. Look at those fat little corridors. This tank, crystal clear. Now this tank is running the Flowmaster. What is it called? The Fluval 207. And I'm quite happy with this filter. The only thing I don't like is it doesn't come with a spray bar. You got this big old nozzle shooting out water, so I'm going to have to spend the money and buy the spray bar. The over-the-tank holders are not that great. Frankly, the ones on the Sun filter are better. I'll show you those here in a second. Not impressed. I'm impressed with the filter overall. It's got really good flow, and I like the fact that it's easily put up, but it's a little pricey. It's not a cheap filter. It's in the $130, $120, $130 range, but it does a good job of keeping the tank clean. All right, and then so let's talk about the other filter I have here, and that's the Sun. And it's a big, ugly, beastly kind of canister filter. It's not anything to write home about. It does not have an adjustable flow. That's the one thing that irritates me about this thing. No adjustable flow. However, it does include these wonderful over the rim clamps. Just look at that. It's just designed. That's worth the cost of the damn filter right there. But alas, again, alas, no adjustable flow rate on the return. But it does come with a bar, and yeah, I'm getting pretty good flow, I guess. So this tank, my spouse and I reset about a month ago now, and we got some cardinal tetras. And this has just been a I've reset this tank with the fish in it. I put some shrimp in here. I've added some little plecos. I don't think they're coming out right now. I got a bunch of Coriodoras down at the bottom, cardinal tetras, neon tetras. These are mollies, yeah, Dalmatian mollies, and the black and yellow mollies, I forget. And then I had some out of the black and white mollies. I had some all white mollies, and then I got some guppies in there, and there's a shrimp. There's a brand new baby fish up there. There's some of the shrimp. I got some more shrimp. I bought some about a month ago when I reset the tank. So this tank's doing really well. All right, have a little seed here, and take a look. So I reset this tank because why not? This is the 10 gallon that I reset, well, I don't know, a month ago now. As you can see, it's yellowed. Tannins are coming out of that wood. I like the look of that tank. It's healthy. I like the way it got decorated. Turned out really well. So the one above it had a hair algae problem. I just finally got tired of dealing with it and tore it down and cleaned it up. I didn't sterilize it. I kept the fish in it. I cleaned it up, and then I redecorated it, put some vallisneria in it, put some fern in here, and then I've got a pleco in here. He's coming out. He's getting big. He was a tiny little thing when I got him a month ago. And just threw some rocks I'd found outside, in my yard. I cleaned them up a bit. We got some pretty rocks out here at the foot of the hill country. Get some of that limestone stuff, and I don't know if that's limestone. It's pretty hard to be limestone, but we'll see. It's letting that leach into the water, and then I got my trusty hang-on back filter on the back. So speaking of filters, if I could afford a canister filter for this one, I would do it. These are the LaQual hang-on back filters. They're excellent filters. I love them. They work really well, and they're cheap. And then the other tank that I went ahead and reset, again, you get tired of looking at them. You're not happy with the way they turned out. So this one had gravel in it. I'm not a big fan of gravel tanks. And it's my live bearer machine, my guppy factory. And there's some pretty vibrant males in here, and now they really pop with this black sand. I swore I wasn't going to do another black sand aquarium, but I didn't have any pool sand, pool filter sand. I don't have any play sand, and I wanted to get sand in here so I could get these plants back in. So I went with the black sand, and then I'm going to put some root tabs in here to help it along. But I did it with the fish in the tank. There's a pleco in here. He's been in here for years. I saw him using the cave the other day. And then I just recently put a piece of wood back in here so he'd have something to munch on, rather than his food, or in addition to his food. And the fish, I don't know, they really seem to be liking the tank. We need to get some top growing plants back on here, but I culled all my duckweed and all my Amazon frog bits, so I don't have any to replace it with right now, but I will give it a couple of weeks. And then I just transplanted the hell out of a bunch of plants, and I'm hoping they'll survive. Usually they do. Now I need to clean the outside of the glass on here. Again, I get another LaQual hang-on back filter. Again, they're just dead simple to set up. They hardly ever break, and they're easy to take apart and clean and reassemble and make your own filters for, and Go look them up. I think they're about 15 bucks a filter. And they got a skimmer on them. You can use it or not. You can block up the skimmer. And, you know, your mileage might vary. But there is that other tank. So I just reset these two. I was tired of looking at them. They were too dark, the other ones. And so these will be a work in progress, I guess. So the first filter I got, and this is this is for 10 and 20 gallon tanks. And frankly, I think this one is plenty big enough for even a 20 gallon tank. And it's the Hyger. Hang on back. Now, I really like this filter. I like the idea of it. I like that it's all contained, so it's real hard to spill water out of it. It's easy to service. I like that about it. Hyger's not known for their wonderful build quality, but what Chinese manufacture these days is. And I guess they're doing the best they can, and it's not a bad price for that filter. The biggest problem I have with this filter, and this is why I tend to shy away from these filters with skimmers on them, because it typically allows air into the system and really doesn't skim the water any better than would, say, having a air stone in the tank, having it, keep the surface moving. So you got to monitor this filter. In fact, I have to watch it on a daily basis to make sure that it isn't sucking a bunch of air into it and not filtering effectively. But it's got, what I really like about it is the fact that it's got lots of room internally to for filtration. So you got a coarse sponge, then you got a finer sponge, and you've also got your biomedia. See how the water comes in through the top of the fine sponge, then the coarse, then into your media, or into your bio balls, and then over to the coarse sponge, and then back out through the outlet. It comes with a spray bar, or it comes with an outlet where you can, a nozzle where you can adjust it. On the 20 gallon tank, because I put it on the side, I chose to go with the nozzle. Now the next filter is this Amasi Joy. Yeah, it's not a joyful experience. I mean, this wants to be a really good filter. Maybe it's just me. I'm reserving judgment on this until I've had it a bit longer and get to know it, but it seems to suffer from air infiltration. Somewhere I'm pulling air into the system, and I just can't seem to purge the damn air out of this filter. But other than that, it works fine. It came with some media inside as a bonus gift. You get some media, you get another extra UV bulb. You do get a nice input and output, but these aren't very forgiving on their height adjustment. So I only have a 40 gallon breeder this is in, and these inlet pipes are way too long even, so I had to cut them. The other thing I don't like is these ends just kind of hang over the edge of the aquarium, the packet, these hoses. It doesn't come with any brackets other than, a couple of clips and some rubber suction cups, and that's never a great way to handle your lily pipes with that's what I call these, your lily pipes. So now we come to, one of my favorite filters of the bunch, with one exception, and that is no adjustable flow. One of my favorite things about this filter is the bracket that comes with it to mount these hoses over the side of the aquarium. Every one of these filters should have one of these brackets. It's ingenious, the assembly. It's really well thought out. It's a really well designed filter. It does what it's supposed to do. It pumps water, and it has 3 different levels, and it comes with charcoal, bio balls, media. It's everything you need. 88 bucks is what I paid for it. It weighs 12 pounds without water in it. It's very heavy with water in it, so I'm using it on my 55 gallon tank, as you saw, my community tank. And no complaints other than a little bit low flow. I like a little bit higher flow, but my fish seem to be happy with the filter. It's keeping the water sparkling clear. And really, that's all I can ask. You know what I'm saying? And then, by far, my favorite filter next to the Sun is the Fluval 207, and for many, many reasons. Let me tell you what I don't like about this filter. One, no spray bar included. You gotta get it's $22, between $22 and $32 extra for the spray bar. That's not a nice way to do business. The number two thing I don't like about this particular filter, the hoses. I don't think they're long enough, but that's just my opinion. Now, I think they keep the hoses at the length they do because of the head height of the filter. It's only, oh, I'd have to look it up. I have to look up. They're really caution you against going more than the head height. In fact, I have my Fluval up on a paint can in order for the hoses to reach. So the third thing I don't like about this is the way they mount the hoses over the side of the tank. It's better than the Ammo Joy, which is non-existent, but it's not as good as the Sun. Now, what do I like about this filter? Well, holy moly. Where do I start? I like the valves. I like the head clamps. I like the quick primer. It all seems to work. I like the easy lift. Media baskets. I love those. It's going to make it so easy to keep it clean. So the 207, the maximum water column height is 1.45 meters, which is what almost, so it's 1.5 meters of 3. So about what, 5 feet is the lift of this filter? Not a whole bunch of head height. So remember, the higher you can get the filter off the ground closer to the aquarium, the better your flow is going to be. And it does have adjustable flow, rubber feet stabilizers, yada yada. The 207 is rated up to so it's got 200 US gallons per hour. They don't actually size them by aquarium size, but this one says up to 45 gallons for the 207. I'd have to look at the 307. Let's see, the 307 is for up to 70 gallons, and the 407, the big kahuna, is for up to 100 gallon. And then you'd want to, start doubling them up. But the 207, I got mine online for $139.95. I'm the king of cheap, but some things are worth paying for. This Fluval is one of them. In fact, I even bought the spray bar. Yeah, I paid extra for the spray bar. That's how big of an idiot I am. So there you go. My little impromptu review, and we did some fish tank maintenance and rescaped a couple of tanks. And what do you think? Most of my tanks, they go, well, the planted tank, the original one, the Wallstead method, the one with the soil in the bottom and the sand in the top, when I was just getting started, that 20-gallon long over there, that's been a great tank. I've had zero trouble with that. I had a lot of trouble when I started that tank. There were a lot of nutrients in that water I didn't understand. I hadn't wrapped my brain around how that all worked, and lost a bunch of fish in that one. But that's how you learn, that's how you learn. And I've since moved on from soil as a substrate. I've moved on to using that baked clay from Tractor Farm and Ranch Supply Store. The stuff they use to put down for, I think it's called Absorbit. It's basically kitty litter, baked clay. Makes a really great substrate for the plants, but it will suck the pH out of your water. So just be aware of that. It will. I've got high pH water, like up near 8, 7.78, and this stuff will suck the pH right out of it. So be aware of that. If you're going to have fish in that kind of aquarium with that kind of substrate, you may want to charge that substrate to keep the pH, to buffer the pH before you put your fish in, especially shrimp. But anyway, I digress. There are different ways of doing everything. And just like this, just like there's different substrates, there's different filters. I'm a big fan of the hang on back and the canister filters. I've used the in aquarium filters, the sponge filters. They were around when I was a kid and first got my first job, at an aquarium at a pet store, at a legit aquarium individual private owner fish store, not a big corporation. Nothing wrong with that. But that's how I got my start. And, you know, we used canister filters there. We had one big canister filter. It was diatomaceous earth. And we'd take it around to each tank once a week, and it would get a thorough, it would get a couple of cycles through that filter, or 5 cycles. It would make the water sparkling clear, and we'd move on to the next one. But normally they just had sponge filters in there, bubbler filters to keep them clean. And they work really well. I just don't like them. I don't think they're attractive. And but they're good in fish tanks. They're good in tanks with small fry, that kind of thing, where you need to be gentle to the fish. You don't want, you know, fish or shrimp going into a hang-on back or a canister filter. That wouldn't end well. But yeah, I like experimenting and tinkering with this stuff. So that's why these aquariums will always be a work in progress. And that's why I like to tear into them every once in a while and make them better and learn what's aesthetic and appealing to my eyes. And, you know, I make these scapes because I enjoy doing it. I enjoy the process of creation with it. And it, you know, helps focus and calm my mind. I can go into another world. It's like much like books. I can go into another world when I'm in the aquarium world, and I just don't have a care in the world. And hopefully you find that kind of joy in aquariums as well. So there you go. I hope it wasn't too long, but I love talking about fish and aquariums and gadgets, and so you're stuck with me. And hope you enjoyed the video. Smash the like button on your way out. Leave your comments down in the comments section. I would really appreciate a sub if you don't mind. It lets YouTube know that you're actually enjoying the content and you want to see more of it. And it'll help recommend it to other people who might be interested in the same hobbies we're all interested in. I'm going to try and do a video every week. I can't make promises though. I got a lot of things going on in my life, including adding this channel in addition to Unky Joe's Playhouse, which is my first channel that I ever started. So go check that out if you're into IT and computers and AI and home automation and that kind of stuff. That's really where that's for. Thanks again for coming to see us, and don't forget, we'll see you all on the other side of the glass.
I've been watching old Unky Joe. From Texas heat to where the cacti grow. Fixing server solar power in the land. Hoping that his plans all stand. Making life a touch more bright underneath those southern lights.